Welcome back. Gold is a good indicator to show how geopolitical events could escalate. The more higher gold is, more closer to a conflict, whether it's globally or regional war, could spark off. People of goodwill and intentions like Putin and Trump so-called peace talks, excluding Zelensky and the European NATO's, seems a charade. And the fact is, it's a good thing, even this so-called pantomime, what they put on, is really, in the end, the Americans will say to the Europeans, we have started a war in Ukraine against Russia, and they're saying to the Europeans, you're going to have to deal with it from now on, because the Americans are pulling out. And, you know, United Kingdom, Germany, all those local leaders are a little bit pissed off about the idea. Go, you what? Because, you know, how you can kickstart the economy, which is going tits up like the American one and the European one, you put into a war economy. And basically what Trump said, for now on, we shall not foot the bill to defend your continent, Europe, and you're going to have to go with your own legs for now on. But don't worry, if you want to fight this war in Ukraine against the Russians, we shall sell you the necessary weaponry. I like all those contractors who does military stuff. They get rich and create jobs in America. Brilliant one, Trump. And regarding military expenditure, which each NATO nation spends, they will have to double it, probably from 2.5% or 2% of their GNP to around about 5%, which more taxes for the citizens of that country to pay, and less public services like schools, health service, and other type of public services will be cut due to this more military spending. And plus, in what shape the military is in various countries in NATO, dwindling recruitments, lack of investments modernising their defence, and obviously the narrative of wokeness in some European countries regarding the public sector, regarding the military. If tomorrow they have to fight a war with Russia, they will be totally destroyed, because they're not prepared psychologically, not even military, or trained to face a nuclear war machine, which is number 2 in the world. And hearing Starmer say we're going to commit 10,000 UK soldiers, United Kingdom has got 76,000 active regarding the Navy, the Air Force and the army. And we heard talk of countries which may participate in the so-called peacekeepers. And you know, that is not a good idea. You've seen European NATO soldiers, boots on the ground in Ukraine. You know, the Russians won't take that too well, that thing. They say, no, 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 no. We don't want peacekeeping forces in Ukraine. Russians will say, Ukraine's got no card to negotiate, to ask for concessions, because Zelensky thinking, invading Kursk. Say, like this, I'll give you back Kursk and you give me back the eastern part of my country, which the Russians is under their occupation currently, which is 70% of the resources, natural resources of Ukraine, which, you know, Trump wants as a guarantee for the money being funded in Ukraine, because it's time to pay out your dues, Zelensky. And you know, Zelensky heard on the radio this morning, Trump is snobbing him. I think more or less he has served his purpose as an actor. Like all films and television series, there'll be the last episode. Seeing Ukraine government, the whole cabinet and the political party is from that television series in Ukraine, which Zelensky was an actor as president of Ukraine. He became an actor which the other people write the scripts for him and who run the shit show in Ukraine. That will be his last season, and obviously the West are going to throw him in underneath the bus because he has served his purpose, and they're probably going to use him as an scapegoat for the disaster which has created from this conflict, because the West was thinking all these years pumping money into Ukraine, creating a military force to defeat the Russians and split up their country, has failed. The only last option is this so-called peace talking between Trump and Putin to save the sailor boy in this case. And like I mentioned, it's all a charade, because in the end Americans say it's time to leave. You know, when you go in a restaurant and you tend to leg it to avoid paying the restaurant bill, it's the same thing. And the Europeans will be the ones who will have to pay the bill. If they can't, they have to wash the dishes in the restaurant. This is basically which is going to happen in the end. Because obviously Americans, I think, are a bit more concerned which has happened with China. And obviously they can't fight two wars, one in Europe and one with Chinese, or even the Middle East, because they haven't got the manpower or the military gear and actual training to face those war scenarios.